이거 해봤냐? 끝까지? 범죄와 처벌. 새로 하기. 우크라이나인들? 헛뜻은
한글 가점회.
한글 감매? 여긴 그냥 한패가 돼있네. 화면이 깨지는 것 같기도 하고.
Holmes, will you stop that?
탁자 숨기.
You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate.
힘찬 발걸음. 경찰. 이때 뭐 추리하는 게임인가?
Ah, Lestrade. What is it
역전
this
재판장?
time?
뭐 그런 느낌인가?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
키워드
You're out of
찾아서
your mind.
조합해서 추리 게임.
I missed
그래?
4 out of 10.
재밌겠는데?
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
딱 내
Am
스타일이네.
I the only
Bye-bye.
sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more.
근데 내가 생각한 셜록 홈즈랑 별로 안 닮은 것
Peter
같아.
Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia.
은퇴.
Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down
뭐
there.
누가 죽은 거네 일단
Give me
별장에서
half an hour to
은퇴한
prepare,
사람.
Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve.
마약?
I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
탭으로 그렇죠. 베이커가 산지기의 별장. 살인사건을 조사하라. 증거. 피터 캐리는 블랙피터라 해서 고래잡이로 큰 돈을 벌었는데 산지기 별장에서 머물렀다. 이 사람이 죽은 건가? 피해자? 피해자의 양력? 이거는 업무, 지도, 증거, 문서, 대화. 자, 피터 캐리의 살인사건을 조사하십시오.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
분석력
My
측상.
analysis table. It is useful for my work. A
지금
map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful. I cannot leave yet. I am not
아,
finished yet.
조사를 끝나야 나갈 수 있는구나. 허드스미.
What a mess! What a terrible mess!
끝이야?
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
왔어. 뭐 따로 조사되는 게 없구만 여기. 편지,
This is where I keep my post.
신문.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can
백과사전.
always consult with it if needed.
홈즈. 홈즈면 나네. 못 떴는데? 옷장. 현장대로 이동하기. 아, 이거 커스터마이징인가? 이거. 오케이. 아침실 내복. 코트. 간편한 정장. 이걸로 간다.
미션 중에 옷 입는 거 있지 않았나?
옷 입는 거 있었다고? 옷장에서 정장을 꺼내 입고 산지기의 별장인 레니스트레이드 경관과 만나십시오. 정장. 너 어떻게 그런 거 다 기억하냐? 나는 그냥 대충 읽고 넘어가는데? 간편한 정장. 회색 정장으로 간다. 오케이. 산지기의 별장으로 간다. 아까 나가는 길. 여기다. 산지기의 별장. 문서, 기념품, 메아리.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
완료. 산지기의 별장에서 사건 현장을 조사하십시오. 아닌가? 사건이 일어나는 데가?
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
문 안
키
열리네.
눌러보래.
T? 간파하기 쉬운. T 누르면은 이거 사륜안 나와가지고 볼 수 있나?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
탭 증거 정원이 깔끔하게 손질되어 있다. 솜씨 좋은 정원사와 모험이다. 솜씨 좋은 정원사? 뭐 아직도 안 끝났어?
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
따로 볼 수 있는 게 아직 없네. 사람들하고 말해봐 이거.
Mr. Holmes?
경찰 대사는 다 똑같은가?
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
대화. 정원사가 있나?
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ
아까
someone to look
그거
after it?
있었잖아. 그 힌트
It is
중에.
true. There is a lot of work, but
정원사는
my
없다.
husband took care of
여기.
it himself.
시체 발견 시각.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... Oh dear.
10시 문을 열었는데 죽었다. 방문자가 있었나?
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he
친구가
didn't really
없다.
have many
은퇴한
friends.
이후에는 한적하게
He lived
살았다.
quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
새벽 2시. 저녁.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
일단 여기까지인 것 같고. 사람도 이렇게 조사를 하는 수 있나? 세장 원예용 장갑 장신구 천주교 묵주 뭐 하나 더 찾아야 되는 거네. 원예용 장갑 불박스는 뭐야?
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
미운정이 들었다.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
잠깐만, 증거 찾아보기. 주디스 캐리는 불행한 결혼. 청교도 신자로 젊은 시절 순례길에 오른 적이 있었다. 플리머스? 플리머스가 뭐야? 얘랑 얘기하지 말고 나가야 될 것 같아.
Never mind.
조사 좀 해야 될 것 같은데? 모르겠는데? 플리머스.
Thank you, madam.
T. 아무것도 모르고 가려니까 되게 어렵다.
It seems that
정원 아까 봤던 거.
아까 정원 입구 쪽에.
입구 쪽에?
Peter Carey's body is inside
피
the cabin.
누르고 가만히 있으면
care not to
키워드
touch
뜨는
anything.
방식이야.
오솔길 발자국
these footprints appear to be quite large.
커다란 발자국 네. 산지기 별장 근처 물이 고여있던 땅바닥에 살인자의 발자국이다. 찾아봐야겠다. 증거 불충분. 그러니까 뭐 중요한 힌트가 나올 때 옆에 뭐 T가 떠가지고 확인하라는 거겠죠, 뭐 보면. 못 들어가 여기? 들어간다.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
T. 출입문 자물쇠, 긁힌 자국.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool. What a terrible
맞아
way
죽은
to
거야?
die.
피터 캐리의 강화.
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
발문? 발 크기인가?
Old navigation
방해도.
instruments. Nothing interesting. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years
야 이게 거의
1878
튜토리얼급인데 왜 이렇게 어려워 보이냐? 뭐
Peter
이렇게
Carey was her captain.
튜토리얼 같은데? 황해이지 요주의 물건. 선반.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
선반. 빈 공간. 곽.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps.
책보다 큰 상어. F 아까 떴는데?
This place is not... An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps.
F를 쓰면 아 이렇게 상황이 뜬다고. 오케이. 물건이 될 만한 걸.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise.
원시범이다.
It is possible that he knew his murderer. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood
살해당한 후에
after the death of
엉덩이로
Peter Carey.
떨어졌다. 뭐야?
These abbreviations mean something, but what? This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife,
칼로
but he did
보엔
not succeed.
됐다. 이 칼은 그러면 이상한 거네.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
고래잡이용 작살.
Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
담배.
그래도 찾을
This
거 다
aroma is
찾으면
familiar,
친절하게
but to
나가주네.
recognize it, I must
그러게.
construct my
다
associations
끝나면은
in one
끝났다고
picture.
그 초록 색깔 표시 뜨면서 아니다. 이건 이렇게 돌려서 맞추는 거 보다. 어떻게 맞춰야 돼? 이거를 이렇게. 파이프 모양이 보이는데? 얘부터 일단 맞춰야 되나? 이렇게? 건너뛰기? 아, 이 건너뛸 수도 있구나. 뭐야? 아, 이렇게 할 수도 있어? 오케이. 됐다.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
뭘 한 거야, 그래서?
Rum, a sailor's drink.
어,
It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a
전까지
drink
술을 마시고
before he met
있었다.
his death.
산지기 별장에서 사건 현장을 조사하는 완료. 여긴 끝난 건가? 조사?
The murder
작살거리.
weapon was probably taken from this rack.
B. 정원사는 없었다랑 침입자. 이건 아니고 수첩이랑 침입자. 와, 이렇게 해서 이렇게 뭐 볼 수 있는 거야? 도와주기. 아까 봤던 건 어떻게 보지? 매복 작전을 준비해야.
Ha! Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
매복 장소를 찾아라. 밖으로 나가서 저나 지도.
Dundee.
던디.
Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
고래잡이 지도.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to
오늘 밤에
force it
다시
with a knife
오니까
blade,
매복을
but they
한다
failed.
얘긴가?
What will they do? Why return tonight, when they will be better prepared?
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
매복. 발자국.
These boots don't match the footprints.
집주인 거가 아니란 거네, 결국에. 저 발자국. 증거 불충분. 매복 장소부터 찾는다.
Mr. Holmes?
이쪽 안 가면 돼. 이쪽 한번 가봐야겠다. 집에 들어갈 수 있나? 못 들어가네? 여기도 안 되고. 아까 그 아줌마랑 얘기 계속 해야겠다.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
담배는 예전에 끝났다.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with
Papa,
Peter was never
interesting.
easy.
He was different, wasn't he?
플리마스.
When you first met him upon your return from Plymouth.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my
그냥 찍어야
goodness,
되나?
how do you know about that?
Never mind. He was different, wasn't he? When you first met him upon your return from Plymouth.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about
아드반소.
that?
올라. 해답을 선택하십시오.
You have indeed suffered a great...
Yeah.
He was different, wasn't he?
야, 이럴
When you
때는
first met him upon your return from Plymouth.
다 찔러 보는 거야.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
나
Oh, my goodness, but how do
솔직히
you know
모르겠어.
about
이거 뭔 말하는지. 손질된 정원. 너는 알겠냐? 이게 무슨 말인지?
You have in...
that? Yes.
He was different, wasn't he? When you first met him upon your return from
여기서부터는
Plymouth.
스킵이 안 돼.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
성지순례.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth.
I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
대화 끝이야?
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
이래야지 범인 잡겠나? 이거 달리기 된다.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Mr. Holmes?
이거 나가는 거야? 탐정으로 쓰는 상상력, 추리 영역, 인물 뽑기, B. 매복을 준비하다. 매복 장소부터 빨리 찾아야 되는데.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's
오두막
cabin,
뒤편의
near the
창문
window.
근처.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
뭐야? 갑자기 화면 바뀌었어. 진범 찾아오나?
Shh! Did you hear that?
젊은 사람이네?
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there!
검거했나?
Mr. Holmes, come and see what we've caught in our net. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
뭘 잃어버렸다?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
여기서 검거한 거야? 신문. 이 저장 어떻게 하냐 이거? 야, 이 저장하는 방법이 뭐야?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's
자동
Lee last night.
저장일걸.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation
we
room.
also
You can go
target
straight
it.
through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
오늘 여기까지. 잠깐만. 오케이, 됐다. 빠이.